Welcome to creating a mid-year assessment on TenMarks. The next few minutes, we're going to show you how to create and deliver online assessments using our online program. Specifically, what we'll do is show you how to create the assessment and preview it and send it to your students, and then how to actually log in using student roster information to complete the online assessment. And then once the students have submitted it, how to view the assessment results, both on the screen as well as exporting those results. And then finally to view recommendations that the systems will make for personalized next steps depending on how the students have done. We'll close with a link to some additional resources. And first, if you've never seen TenMarks before, we'll show you how easy it is to select which students you're going to give it to, how to name your assessment, and choose a start and end date. You will be selecting the grade level assessment, which is a very important point. And then after we've kind of covered that who, when, and what, you're going to want to make sure that you have a very specific naming convention. So there will be a place where you add in mid-year assessment. You put in your school initials and then your first initial and last name and grade level. So for instance, if I was doing this, I would name my assessment, mid-year assessment, AV for Alta Vista, my school. And actually, I wouldn't call it Florent, I would call it J. Florent, and then grade 4. So that's kind of the naming convention that we'll be using. Then we'll look at how the students can complete their assessment and how you can log back into your teacher account and view results. So without further ado, let's go directly to the live system. So I'm here at tenmarks.com/login/user. If you just go to tenmarks.com, you can click in the upper right corner. You'll log in with your school email address and password. If you have forgotten that password, you can just click Forgot Password and it will immediately email you a new one. At the first page, you're going to click to create assignments. And then you're going to click Work, and then you're going to click Assessments. So when you're creating a new assessment, it's as simple as clicking this big tile to create a new assessment. You're going to select the class that you will be sending it to, and by default, the system will send it to all of the students in the class. If you needed to send it to just certain students, you can click further into this and just choose those students by name. Or if you wanted to, you could actually click to send it to multiple classes at once. You will then choose the grade level that your class is currently enrolled in. This assessment will actually cover all of the power standards of the grade you're in now, even those standards that you have not yet covered, but this will be a helpful way to diagnose where you are in the year and what's most important to cover next. You will want to make sure to choose grade level. There are two different types of assessments on TenMarks. The grade level is what we're using for the mid-year diagnostic. The standard level actually adds 6 questions for each individual standard, but that's used more formatively, and there will be additional resources to help you understand where and how to use that type of assessment. And then finally, you're going to choose both a start and end date and time. The start time will be the very first time that the assessment is available for your students to view. So if you're choosing a time and date in the future, it will not be immediately accessible. But then when you look at the end time, this will be the last time that the students can turn that in. And you'll choose what time of day they'll be able to turn that in. And you can get into 15-minute increments. This is enforced as a hard due date, so if the students have not turned in the assessment on time, they will lose the opportunity to do so unless you edit the due date and reopen the assessment for them. Finally, this is where you'll add in the name of the assessment, and this is where you'll want to follow those specific naming conventions. And then you'll have a chance to preview the assessment. So if I'm actually doing this for my grade 4 class, and that's what I'm seeing here. When I click preview, it'll show me a sample of the questions that are going to be on the assessment, but they're in randomized order. And so you'll notice that for grade 4, There are several different kinds of question types. There are many questions where students have to select all of the right answers or to do constructed response. We'll look at that closely in just a moment. But if all of these questions look correct to you, you can scroll all the way to the bottom and notice that for 4th grade, there are 35 questions on the test. And then you click Create. And now that assessment is going to be available to all of the students in my class. In order to now prepare to give this to your students, you want to click on the home page and then the class roster, and you can then download your roster. And when you click on that, it will actually give you a PDF file that you can open and print. And what this will show you is that it gives you a listing of all of the students' names, usernames, and passwords, and then it gives you a little card for each student that you can cut and give to them directly if you haven't already done so. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm next going to log in as a student, and I'm going to actually show you how easy it is to do the assessment. I'm going to log out of my teacher account, and at the same login screen, I can actually log in as a student. And when I log in, what you'll see is that the student account has that mid-year assessment ready and waiting. When the student clicks into the assessment, they'll see one question at a time. You'll want to make sure that you give them a little bit of a preview for how to interact with the fill-in questions in particular. So if I was typing in the answer to this question, I would type in, say, I would just type in my my answer. Let's see what I would do. If I needed to actually have a toolbar that pops up here next to the screen, and so that is available for me when I need it. If I needed to put a fraction, I could type that in, and you will want to show that to your students. Ultimately, I can scroll through by clicking on the next button or by clicking on any of the buttons at the top. And when I get to the last problem, again, there are going to be 35 problems here, I can submit this, and it will allow students to submit an incomplete assessment. So you want to decide how to instruct your students when they encounter something they don't know how to start. Maybe there will be a few things on the assessment that they have not been presented with yet. They can skip those questions, or you can have them make a best attempt, whatever you prefer. But when you submit it as a student, you'll immediately get detailed response for what you got correct and incorrect, as well as the explanations for each item. Let's take a look at what now the teacher can see from your account after the students have completed the work. And so I'm logging back into my teacher account, clicking again on Create Assignments and on Work from the upper left corner. And now under my assessments, I can look and see I have begun to get some results. And so I click on View Details, and I'll see a summary of all of my class results here at the top. And then I will begin seeing for each individual student what their scores were by domain. One of the things that will be important is that the system actually does build for you a report here under the Work and Assessments or under Reports. I'm going to spend just another moment here showing you that for each individual student, you will see recommendations that you can either accept or just view here on screen for what work the student might do next in order to help fill some of the gaps if they've done poorly. Those are called review recommendations. We also have practice and challenge recommendations, and it's very important if you're accepting these recommendations that you look that you can either add to their personal work or replace in their personal work. Generally at this time of year, we're using the replace button, and so any existing personal work would be replaced by the recommendations that you accept here. When you're looking again at those assessment details, you can see which are the problems that are most commonly missed, who the students were that made them. I do want to point out I had just clicked on the recommendations for just one student, but I can also click to view recommendations and accept those on behalf of the whole class. And so again, keep in mind that you'll want to probably replace the personal work, and many teachers decide perhaps only to accept the review recommendations at this time of year, but you can also give practice and challenge recommendations. Finally, under reports, not only can you view the assessment results on your screen, I've just clicked assessments and then grade level. And so now I'm seeing the results by domain for my whole class. And the last step would be I can also export these results so that I can then take those back to either my administration. Some schools require turning this in to either the principal or your online course. And when you click to save that, you'll now have a detailed listing of the results by domain and student for all of the students in your class. That really concludes the demonstration of the assessments on TenMarks. I do want to point out that you do have additional resources at help.tenmarks.com. So everything I've shown you here also has short guides and videos that go into more detail if you need it at help.tenmarks.com. Thanks so much for spending time learning with us today, and let us know if you have any questions by sending email to support@tenmarks.com. Thanks.